Yes, well, in his first address to the nation as Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak said the terrible war in Ukraine must be seen successfully to its conclusion. He spoke with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky last night to tell him that the UK's support will remain as strong as ever under his premiership.
Yes, as the war continues to rage on, with a missile strike on a petrol station in Dnipro, killing at least 2 civilians. What needs to be done now for Ukraine? Well, joining us now to discuss this is Andrii Osadchuk, Ukrainian Member of Parliament. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, in the UK now we have a new Prime Minister. Our previous Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, was known for his steadfast and committed support for Ukraine. I mean, are you reassured by the statements of Rishi Sunak, our Prime Minister, that we will continue to support you and stand shoulder by shoulder with the Ukrainian people?
Good afternoon. First of all, we're happy to see on the position of Prime Minister young, extremely professional and high-skilled individual who definitely has all needed capabilities to continue to promote the foreign policy which was established by Boris Johnson, especially towards barbarian war of Russian Federation. So we don't have any doubts that under leadership of new Prime Minister, the United Kingdom will continue to play this leadership role in fighting with the Russian Federation as they did before. So no doubts on that at all. Ukraine is relying on United Kingdom as on our biggest ally and friend in all parameters. Said that, yes, for the last weeks we have this ongoing missiles attack on Ukrainian cities, which is another confirmation that Russian military can do nothing with Ukrainian military, and now they openly fighting with anyone who is living in Ukraine. And the only good answer on that is strengthening Ukrainian air defense system. We are talking on that from day one. Until today, Ukrainian sky remains to be a biggest challenge for everyone who is living here, for lives of people and for infrastructure. Because yes, they want to try to freeze us by switching off electricity supply and heating supply all over the country.
It seems like the nature of this war has developed, has changed in the last couple of weeks, with the Russians lashing out against the civilians of Ukraine to a greater extent than they have done for quite some time, with these unmanned, terrorizing drones raining down on cities that had thought they'd seen the back of the Russians, and also the idea that in Kherson there will be a pretty scorched earth strategy from the Russians as well. Are we expecting to see this war get perhaps less professional and maybe more dangerous for ordinary civilians?
I think you are wrong saying that something changed. So civilians were brutally killed in Bucha 5-6 months ago, meaning that all the time of all this 8 months of war, Russia was targeting Ukrainians because they're Ukrainian. Russians were killing civilians just because they're civilian. So that's why nothing changed. The only big change that, yes, they can do nothing with Ukrainian military. Yes, they don't have enough Russian-made military equipment to attack Ukraine. So that's why they switched to these barbarians, Iranian-made kamikaze drone, which is absolutely chaotic. So they're attacking targets without any concrete navigation details, meaning that it's a mass destruction weapons which currently used by Russian Federation. Talking about Kherson, it's a very interesting story because it's absolutely clear for any military experts that Russian military group in the right bank of the Dnieper is doomed to collapse simply because they don't have supply chains, because Ukraine destroy all the bridges and we keep fire control on all supply chain. So Putin just keep his group on the right bank because another defeat of his military can create additional huge problems for his leadership in Kremlin. But again, Russian units in Kherson, they're doomed to failure. As fast as they will leave Kherson, as more soldiers they will save. But I don't think that Russian military leadership care about their soldiers.